check.
Live. Extraordinary. Something like that. Yeah. Me? Yeah.
Testing, mic check.
Mic check.
I know it's like
Testing.
very late on your end.
Taco Falls goes down. That's it for you, so yeah. Oh, block.
Who blocked him though?
Mic check, testing.
I ain't got enough.
Oh, Daddy was talking.
That's the thing about
testing, mic check.
So did you get
Silk out.
Mine keeps twitching.
Yeah, mine's been twitching for the past few years.
Silk. Silk.
Yo, you know what's nuts? I ordered silk pillow sheet. Pillow things.
Not the sheet? Nothing else.
Nah, she's like $107 a piece. She's great. She's great. That's her place.
Why the pillow sheet?
They said cotton absorbs the moisture from like your hair and your skin and stuff like that. And I've been noticing like my skin is getting mad dry. Well, I'm done with cotton pillow pieces.
My joint will be dry because I'm roll it all over the back.
I thought it was.
At least you're honest.
You wake up and you just, oh, man. This morning, back. Hey. And then I got a bed, so it's all in there. Nasty. It's nasty.
It's a lot of information.
Nasty.
Follow.
Testing, mic check, huh?
That was me. Oh yeah, that was me. I tapped it like that.
It just gets aggressive sometimes.
It's basketball, man. It comes out. Can't help it.
It used to come out back in the day. Remember I used to kill it? Yeah. Remember that time?
Yo, they need to put this out already. Like, let us buy these tickets.
Remember the time I pulled up for that dunk?
Oh yeah, they playing games.
No. Remember the time I pulled up for that dunk?
No.
Back in like I cocked that thing back, right?
No idea.
But dude was right in front of us, so I had to switch it up to a layup. I should have been strong.
Oh, that's when the remote died. You know, they get new batteries. They get new batteries. You can watch the replay.
Yeah, and then when you put the batteries back in, it's like, it don't follow through and stop, so.
What if they come out with the tickets for Avengers?
I'm actually,
I would think so. A month
I've been
ahead.
saying that. I need to get the AMC thing, just so I can get the, things whenever it's ready. Yo, that movie Us was amazing. I need to watch that.
I know.
We gonna watch it as a group next week. This week coming up.
What are we supposed to?
Saturday, Sunday. I'm not doing AMC?
More likely. He's in the city, right?
Yeah.
City.
He didn't say which theater though. I hope so. That'd be nice.
Cause that's a movie you gotta watch. Just like how Get Out is, you gotta watch over and over, like the kids, like it's a lot of stuff in there.
I had a feeling.
That's why I was like, I can't even talk about it yet, cause it's like a lot of unanswered questions. I'm not even gonna tell you, but a lot of unanswered. I hate when people be like, I'm not even gonna tell you, but this is what happened. I hate people like that. Like, I would never give you the secret, but this is what happened. But sit to talk about it, man.
Alright guys, I think we got like 80% good, so we're just gonna roll right now, okay?
You know, I'm trained to go.
80%.
Train. TTG.
Alright.
It was 30% a little while ago.
30.
Okay, let's get it.
He's down to 30.
So you starting a live over or what?
Huh?
You gonna start the live over, right?
Yeah.
Let us know. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Talk Cafe here. Got Nate Hustle.
Got DWAYNE.
Girl Kayla.
Anton.
Woo!
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. Back another week. Man, how y'all weekend going so far?
My weekend flew and I'm tight about it. That is about to be Monday already.
I mean, hey, every day is a fun day to me. Anyway, I can't believe y'all didn't see that movie, Us.
No,
Jordan Peele?
no.
No.
I'm trying to
Yes.
avoid everybody. 'cause
That movie
everybody
was
talking about
amazing.
The movie,
Amazing.
the movie theater don't want us to be great because they didn't
I
want to put
wanna-
out more theater times. I
honestly
think that's the
think
excuse.
I should watch that show watch that movie like 3 times before I even discuss it. 'Cause that movie was amazing. If y'all seen the movie, comment below. Let me know how y'all think about it.
You gonna pay for it? You have to support it. You can't bootleg it.
Nah, I paid for this one.
Okay.
Now,
So this
my
one.
second and third time, I can't promise that.
You gotta
I
support
paid
it. Like,
the first ticket.
but if you're gonna be dedicated, you gotta go all in. You gotta pay all 3
Nah, all
times.
3 times. You
She's
tripping.
saying.
Look.
You split it 3
You-
times.
Nah, you tripping.
Look. So you gonna bootleg it? Is what
See,
you're saying?
the way my bank account's set up, it ain't lined up to you know.
I mean, for legal reasons, we're not even talking about bootlegging illegal movies and watching it. I mean, for anybody that's watching that thinks that we do that, we don't. We definitely don't.
Oh, I won't.
For sure don't.
I just wait for it to get on Fire Stick. Honestly, true.
Wow, you talking about supporting it?
No, not us. I'm talking about if it's a movie I don't want to pay for. I'm watching it on Fire Stick.
Yeah, but Jordan Peele, you gotta pay.
Oh no, I pay for all
He
his
established
movies
that credibility.
for sure. Not for us. Us, I'm paying for.
Oh,
I think so.
is that Jesus?
I feel like there's 3 levels. Like, I don't know if y'all ever experienced 4D before, but 4D movies, not 3D, but 4D.
That was my first one that we did with the ape movie.
Oh, Kong.
No, it
Never did 4D.
Oh, you never did? Oh, you gotta try.
It wasn't.
Man,
It was,
you gotta try it. It's so dope.
with the white gorilla.
The white gorilla.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rampage.
Rampage. You said
That
the
movie
white
was alright.
gorilla.
That was a 4D. It was. I didn't. It was crazy. I showed up so late that
Yeah, you missed half the movie.
I was on CB time.
He comes in, the monkey's already 800 feet tall. You miss how it happened.
I never knew the monkey was.
You don't know why everybody's going crazy in the streets.
All I know is
Everybody's already dying by the time he comes in.
I'm sitting in my seat and water spritz in my face. I'm like, what the heck? I thought it was a little kid or something. And my chair started rocking. I said, yo. I didn't know it was 4D. I thought I was being violated.
Yeah, I mean, for context of all of that, like when you're in 4D, it pretty much messes with your senses. So it does, your sense of smell, touch, feel, all that. So like if it's raining, you'll feel like little droplets. If it's cold outside, you'll feel a little wind.
I like when they had the chopper going and there was a whole bunch of wind. To make it
Yeah,
feel
there was in a helicopter. There was a bunch of wind. Your chair was
Cold.
moving. It's dope. It's pricey, but it's dope. But you have to choose the right movie. You can't watch like a love movie in 4D. Like that's stupid.
Girls, if you go to 4D with a lot of rain, wear your windbreakers. You don't want to get your hair all messed up. You know how much I pay for that.
How much do you pay for that?
All right.
I seen a girl the other day in the store. She was like, how much this weigh? They was like 400. She was like, what? And she copped it right then and there. I'm like, oh man, I'm in the wrong business.
Look,
That's for sure. We definitely need to start getting into the hair business because these Asian families are profiting off of our
Indians
culture.
too.
Yeah, for sure. We need to get into that.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. We definitely need to move forward in the direction, especially if our culture is like really taking influence into it and actually spending money in other cultures. I think we should like definitely take control of that.
Yeah, and you know, when we're supporting black business, we should stop looking. Well, yeah, I'll say we should stop looking for discounts. Like we should stop looking for the brother discount where we saying, look out for me this time. Like, you know,
Ain't nothing like it.
you ain't got no.
Hey,
Take $5. Yeah, you can't set the 25% off. The family deal. There's no family deal. We try to run a business. You wouldn't go to the Jewish neighborhoods looking for discounts.
They do that.
What?
They do that.
They do what?
Discounts.
No, what I'm saying is if the owner wants to offer that, fine, but don't ask for it just because it's owned by black people. We seem to do that with our own, but we don't do that outside.
I have no problem supporting, but when the prices get ridiculous, I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Yeah, I say the same thing for white-owned businesses as well. Like, if the price is nuts, like, I'm going somewhere else. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I feel like when we're trying to own a business, we got to further the culture, support them.
They had this company on Instagram, black-owned business, T-shirts.
Mhm.
T-shirts like $35, $40. I'm not paying that much for a T-shirt.
Mhm.
There's too much money to pay for a T-shirt.
I agree. I think sometimes they overprice it. I think sometimes you pay that price because it serves a bigger purpose. Like when Nipsey sold his mixtape for 1,000, 100, my fault.
Hustle.
It showed, and the support that he got showed that the culture is willing to push our own. We're willing to support our own if the end game is important. And I feel like his end game was important. I feel like the reasons why he did it to trailblaze.
The reason, yeah, exactly. He did it to Trailblaze, which Nip Hussle is like one of my favorite artists of all time.
One of the dopest.
He did it because he knew he had a true core fan base. Like he knew, like, regardless, like, I don't listen. I don't even buy CDs. No, I don't think no one does. But if he came out with a CD, it was $50 right now. I buy it, just because I stand for what he stands for. And that's just me. And I know there's people, hundreds of people, thousands of people that feel the same way. And what he's doing back in the community, that's another thing. When you see the T-shirt, it's just $35. But if you seen what was behind the T-shirt, it means more. You know what I'm saying? Like that T-shirt might have just been T-shirts, but I'm talking about not them. But I'm saying, like, I see Nip stuff where his shirts and stuff sometimes be crazy, probably like nothing less than $50 in his store. But you know what I'm saying? And but you see what he doing in his community. It's like,
you know where your money going.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's bought so many organizations and orchestrating the gang culture out there, buying property, creating jobs. It's like if you can support.
I agree.
No
I definitely like where we're going as far as the culture and black culture. I feel like the black elite in our culture is showing us a new way to be a boss, and that's through philanthropy. We're seeing Jay-Z, what he's been doing. He did what was the documentary he did about the inmate? I forgot the name.
I thought what's my call did that. I thought Biggs did that.
No, that was Jay. That was Jay. I mean, Biggs probably has something to do with it too. But then you also see Nip is doing the Big Pun documentary.
Dr. Sebi. That's the
he's always doing Dr. Sebi as well. I mean, we're taking back our culture, and we're doing it in such a way where we're creating opportunities and job for youth, for older people as well. I just like the direction that we're going. I just hope that this what would we call it? This financial renaissance in the black community that's going on right now, as far as like our celebrities. I wish that it continues, you know, and I wish that it continues to grow.
Yeah, I think
But
I
then,
mean,
I don't mean to cut you off much, but then we got other people like Floyd Mayweather who we continue need to cancel.
yeah,
We need to
he's
continue to cancel Floyd because
Why?
Because his abuse and misuse of his power is
How?
is crippling
What is
to
he
our
doing
culture.
But making money.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. I mean,
He's showing boxes how to move.
yeah. So when Gucci puts out an offensive piece of product to our community, and then Floyd flaunts outside of the Gucci store saying, "I do my own thing. I make my own moves. I make up my own mind." What message is he actually sending to his community, and what message is he sending to those same people that you're saying he's mentoring?
Well, I mean, I just look at that situation as he's just like out of touch. He's out of touch with culture, period. But at the same time, that's like, I could see like Jay-Z say something like that towards like, just like who cares if like, nah.
No, you can't, because anytime a company has ever been offensive in the black culture, Jay-Z has canceled them. Yeah. Every time. And he's put in a company in replacement of that company. That's how boss he is. Remember when Iceberg shut him out? What did he do? He canceled Iceberg and he created Rockaway. When what was it, Cristal? Remember Cristal?
Yeah.
How offensive they was to our community? What did he do? He created his own. Get him out of here. Let's just replace them. See, that's the thing that we have to focus on. He didn't just get rid of them. He put something in place of that. Right? So that's what I'm saying about Floyd is, all right, you're making all this money, Floyd, and you have a responsibility behind that. Because the only reason why you got that is because of an audience. Right?
he doesn't use his platform very well.
He abuses it.
He doesn't use it
He's
the
a
way he
platform
should.
abuser. And I feel like he's done that, but he's used to doing that because that's what got him his money in the first place, by doing that.
I mean, if I'm gonna be all like technical and like be that person, but I feel like, you know, he uses it in place for something he doesn't have. I know as cliche as that sounds. I mean, I don't know the man personally. I don't know his personal life or what he's been through, you know, what happens behind closed doors, but like I think he's using it in replace of something. Could be anything, but like people usually use materialistic things to like
Compensate.
yeah, for a void. So I think that's
think so.
that's a big part of it. It could also be that he just, I mean, he's older, but he could still be immature. I mean, like age don't mean nothing.
I think
so
Floyd's suffering from what every person in this planet suffers from at some point in their life.
Can't resit them.
who?
Can't resit them.
Everyone
goes through that. Everyone goes through that.
I wasn't
It's
trying
okay.
to go down that route.
I didn't learn to read till about what?
But not at 40.
First
though.
grade?
But I wasn't trying to go down that
It took me a while.
Yeah.
Shout out to 50.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to 50. But I mean, but he's going through something that we all go through, and that's trying to figure out our identity, right? And it doesn't always happen when you're an adolescent. It doesn't always happen when you're in your early adulthood. Sometimes it happens in your midlife. Like, you don't really know who you are. And sometimes the journey of finding yourself can be a long one, could be a short one, right?
I think he just don't care.
I just feel like, and it could be a mixture of that too. Like, he just doesn't care. Because he's shown that time and time again. It really doesn't matter what anybody says. But why would a man, a black man in this climate at this time still be so, like they said, unattached from the culture? How can you be that unattached from the culture? I think it's a bit of everything that we said. I think he just doesn't care. I don't really think he knows who he is, like what his position is in this culture. I don't really think he understands who he is, right? So he's overcompensating, like you said, by doing all these things, right? Because he's trying to create an identity, right? And I think he's created one in Money Mayweather, because before it was Pretty Boy Floyd. Now it's Money Mayweather. Now it's a persona, right? So now he has to have the Bugattis and the $1 million watches and the 8 women living in his house. Like, he has to have that.
You know what's crazy? I know really wasn't. I know he's probably doing stuff for the community, like different things that we probably don't know about, but there's nothing to me that's standing out that's like, oh, he's really like trying to make moves for our culture.
I don't see the moves he's making for the culture. I see the moves he's making for himself.
Exactly. And that has me always thinking about like Jay-Z's position and like why more artists don't like support him. And it's like, should we even support them?
Yeah, I think we should always support the person that has not only the talent but the correct intention and the power to push the culture forward. I feel like Jay-Z not only has the talent to stay relevant.
He's been the front
right?
runner.
He has the power and he has the resources to push this culture forward. That's who we champion, right? Like the rapper, the entertainer, the singer, they're the modern day superhero. Like these people are our Malcolm X and our Martin Luther Kings and our Rosa Parks. Like they are our revolutionaries, and this is who we champion. This is who we put in the position to lead our culture, right? Like this is who we look at when we need things done for us. This is who we look for.
I mean, we just have to make sure we put the right people in that place. I mean, you know, like the generation, not my generation, the one after mine, I feel like can be guided better in who they have in like the limelight and social media. Like people, I mean, teenagers, I guess that's what they would be right now. They kind of look at Instagram and all that other stuff and they really believe that stuff. I mean, even people my age do too now, but like at that age, like I try to use the analogy of like, you know, their brains are still being molded. So it's like if they genuinely believe that, they're gonna go into their early 20s, mid 20s, still chasing that facade when they honestly, majority of the time, it's not gonna go the way they think it is. So we have to make sure we put the right people in those places that they can look up to or learn from. And I don't think they've chosen the right people. I mean, look who's popping right now. Not everybody. I mean, like, I mess with Cardi. She cool. You know? I think people like her and people, Yara. I mean, I just feel like I feel like I'm naming like all black women, but I feel like they're important too. But I'm just saying like.
Right on.
I'm just saying like, you know, people like that I feel like should be in the light, and like J. Cole, all of the people who they don't take seriously in music,
World.
They should, you know, replace them because I mean they're the only people talking sense. Or I feel talking sense. I mean they got this. What's his name that made that song? Something Baby. Was it Baby? No.
You talking about Lil Baby? Or you talking about the baby?
That Tiana song.
Wah. Huh?
Whoever made that, Bust It Down, Tatiana.
Blueface.
Blueface. Yeah.
The only thing I remember from that song was Will Smith getting it.
Oh, no. Yo, Will Smith is the greatest of all time.
The GOAT.
No, it was great when he created Instagram.
Yes.
He brought so much.
I feel like everything Will Smith touches
He was
is just
great.
like gold.
It's a fact. Not a lot of people could have.
If I ever meet Will Smith and be like, go ahead, touch me.
He's gonna probably look at you kind of weird if you say that to him.
I'm gonna say pause.
Oh, okay. If you add the pause, it makes it right.
He might slap you like he did that reporter.
And I will
It's
humbly
He
accept
slapped that reporter. You ain't see that?
I will humbly accept that.
There was a video. He was on a red carpet, and this reporter, I think it was a prank on a reporter. He tried to kiss Will Smith.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Will Smith just
Think I saw
gave him
that.
a quick backhand, like.
I think I saw that.
I'm gonna show you when we finish. He gave him a quick pat too. I was like, wow. Some Philly hands.
Man.
Bro.
Fresh Prince came out for a second. He transformed.
Yo, I just watched the last episode of Fresh Prince and the first episode of Fresh Prince last night. That last episode, it brought a little tear to my eye.
It still doesn't hit me than when Will's father left him.
Yeah.
That's still the one
That's
that gets
still
me
a
the
pretty
most.
deep
That's
one.
not his father. Uncle Phil is.
Uncle Phil is his dad.
Uncle Phil is his father.
Well, no, his father's the one that gave birth to him, right? His dad is the one that raised him.
But is this is completely different, but what I noticed from those two shows, the first show and the last
Where
show,
to go?
the first show and the last show has a lot of similarities in how it started, how it ended,
Yeah.
and like how the characters interact with each other was the same way. You can see the difference, the growth, you can tell they put a lot of thought into it, you know. Just like one of the things, the first person Will talked to was G, right? Which I never understood because his name is Jeffrey, but he calls him G. He's supposed to be a J. Maybe there's something in London, I don't know. Anyway.
He says G. It's supposed to be like Jeeves, but he shortened it to G.
Yeah, but Jeffrey, though.
Jeffrey could be spelled
G
with
is
a
a short
G.
version for Jeffrey?
Jeffrey can be spelled with a G.
It can.
I've never seen that before.
I swear.
Isn't Jeffrey the
No, it starts with a J.
Toys
It
R Us?
starts with
That's
a
a
J.
G.
It starts with a J. And if it does start with a G, that's why they're out of business.
She's
I
annoying.
think the Toys R Us giraffe is with a G.
Nah, it's a J.
Yeah.
It's a J. Trust me, I know my
Actually,
store.
we gonna go to internet movie
Anyway,
database.
While Kayla's
The first thing he
said.
says to him is, "Hello, Master William." And he's like, "Nah, you don't gotta call me Will." And then he was like, "No, Master William." And then he was like, "All right, call me Royal Freshness," which I thought was dope. But the last one he talks to going out the house is G, right? And he was like, "Come on, you don't gotta talk to me. You don't have to call me that." He was like, "All right, Will." I was just like, "Oh man." I was like, "Oh
I think the
man."
writers went back to the first episode to try to write,
They better
ending to
have.
that?
They better have.
because if that's the case, if that's not the case, then that's an eerie coincidence.
But it's sad to see the ending, but I'm glad it was because I hate them shows that just go off.
Well, apparently they're looking at making a reboot, and Will Smith is all for it.
Yeah, of course. He has to be.
They made a trailer.
I won't respect unless he
You
was.
seen
Talking about that,
remember I
he
talked
says-
about it? Did I show you the trailer?
Yeah.
I
I thought
wouldn't,
it was dope.
I wouldn't respect
nice.
it if it wasn't. That's what I said. It has to be good. There's nothing I seen Will Smith in that wasn't good. Nothing.
Oh, side note, it's with a G. It's with a G.
Every Will Smith movie made me kind of tear up. Even the little fish one.
How did Shark Tale make you tear up?
It was that one moment. It was just.
The fish one.
It's been
Shark
a minute.
Tales.
It was a
Shark Tale when it was
cartoon.
the animated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta let one go. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
Sometimes you just gotta get silked out. Sometimes.
Hey.
I didn't know those two were correlated together, but okay.
Anyway.
What's happening on Twitter, guys? We never check our Twitter feeds when we talk about it.
Twitter be crazy. You know, honestly, okay, so I've recently become addicted to Reddit. Like, I've known about Reddit for a while, but like, it's like another social media. So, yeah, I've known about it for a few years, but if you ever look at Reddit on like a computer, it's so confusing. Like, you don't know what to click on. But if you look at it on the phone, how it's laid out on the phone, it looks better. But Reddit is where you go to get all the memes, all the funny
I know I
posts.
see like they like post a whole bunch of stuff from there.
Yeah, it's the best because that's usually where people get it from. If anything, it goes Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, for sure.
On
Reddit
like,
is like the hub of the internet.
yeah,
It's where
you get everything there.
goes.
You can follow
It's like
any
the
kind
heart
of
of the
pages.
internet is Reddit.
Yeah, it's great. So I've been addicted to it, and I've barely used any of my other social medias because of it. It's addictive.
Can you post from Reddit onto your other platforms?
I have no idea.
You
Never tried that.
probably could,
Huh.
because you can do that on other platforms.
You can
I know
probably
you can
share
do
it, yeah.
Instagram like that.
I wouldn't.
You can share Reddit links on like different platforms.
Yeah, but
So R. Kelly,
oh man,
it wouldn't be 2019 without R. Kelly news.
bruh.
I still haven't seen that whole interview.
Oh man, I have to show it to you.
Yeah, I seen pieces of it. I ain't seen the whole thing yet.
So in the latest in this R. Kelly whirlwind,
I thought the last thing we heard was he didn't pay his child support.
oh no, there's more.
Oh, word.
Yes, there is more.
Ooh.
So apparently, R. Kelly was pleading with the judge to let him travel out of the country for a concert. The judge said, "Where is this said concert, Robert?" And Robert said,
Did you say Robert?
"He probably didn't."
Oh,
It just sounded better.
It's just like how it sounds.
Yeah, it sounded better. I heard Gail say it. It sounded better. So So Robert proceeded on saying, "It's in Dubai, Judge." So you know what the judge did? What any smart judge would do. They contacted the authorities of the Dubai. I said of the Dubai.
You
See?
did. Continue.
And they got back to them very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what Dubai had to say
Don't say that.
about
We don't want him.
Mr.
there.
Robert Kelly. No, Dubai said, "I've never heard of such a concert."
Wow.
Well.
concert
the
is
thing
this?
the thing is, he can't really set up a concert until he's granted permission to.
No. He said he has a pre-planned obligation already. As if you have to let me go to perform. I have a concert in Dubai. And Dubai's looking at him like, huh? Never had this ever conveyed to us.
Bruh.
So I think it's safe to say that Robert's going to remain in jail, right? Like, they're going to deny him.
He's actually in jail right
He's in-
now.
oh, right. Robert's where he belongs.
Aren't they all in the same
I
jail?
thought he got out. I thought he got.
Because he did the interview.
He bailed.
Yeah, they sent him right back.
They said, "Oh, he got sent." Right
Yeah,
back.
he got sent right back because he had a certain point to pay that child support. He didn't pay.
I thought somebody paid it for him.
That was the first time he got out in an interview.
Damn, how much
Oh,
he
so
owe?
he had another case with child support.
So he had
that
two.
He just
cases.
had a certain He had to pay something at a certain point. He failed to pay it. Robert went back. He tried to get back out by saying he had a concert. He lied. It's just not looking good. I mean, he's just gonna have to take whatever punishment's coming his way. I don't know what to tell him. You know.
Did y'all see
That's
that?
I just hope that all the details of what he did to those little girls don't come out, because I guarantee you that's exactly what's gonna happen to him in jail.
No, it's gonna happen to him anyway.
Everything that he's done to those girls is gonna happen to Robert.
But
And if not, I hope so.
But isn't him, Jesse, Bill, all in the same jail place?
Who?
Jesse, Bill
Jesse Smollett.
Cosby, and R. Kelly. Aren't-
Jesse.
The guy
Jesse
from Empire.
Smollett. Remember the one?
Oh,
who-
Jesse. Are they?
When they had their pictures taken, the internet's
Jesse
a detective, so they saw a chip in the wall.
They said it's the same shit.
So they're supposed to be in the
They
same.
got a celebrity chip in the background.
For real, no. If you look at the picture, you could legit see it.
Lifesaver. Yes, guys, we have been upgraded. Okay? That lets us know we're here for another week. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
man.
Is that true?
But okay, now I gotta look it up. Cause I'm telling you, I was being a detective too, and I was looking in the picture, and I saw it. That chip looked the same. I'm not joking. I'm not.
The whole point was to talk about the thing. Anyway,
Oh
okay,
yeah. Okay, so here it is. I wish I could show the actual podcast, but am I bugging? Is that not the same?
No, that
Is
is
it-
the exact same chip.
we still talking about R. Kelly,
Same
right?
chip.
Yeah.
We are.
Is it wrong that I just want to have like one last listening party of R. Kelly music and then destroy it?
Yeah.
Everything? Like I just
Yeah.
want to have like one like sit down and
Swipe and look.
just enjoy what I've known of him.
Yeah, that's completely wrong.
You just gotta
Okay.
swipe it.
You're
I
trash
was just
for that.
making sure.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
invite a couple girls over.
Nah, you're super trash.
Bruh.
They said they all got the same chip.
You gotta swipe to see the next picture and just swipe back.
Because
Same chip.
that's probably where they take the mugshots.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I was gonna ask. Is that the jail or is that
Like,
just
they
where
don't-
they
they
take the
don't take-
mugshots at?
First-hand experience. They don't take the pictures inside holding cell. So
Look, they was in the same area, so I wouldn't doubt it. And honestly, I'll be here for it to have all
yeah,
three
it's the
of them in
same one.
place.
It's the same one. You can tell. Yeah, because they're both in Chicago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
they.
they took
Is Bill Cosby from Chicago too?
Yeah.
Damn, they taking down all the Chi-Town legends.
Hey, Kanye too.
2018 was rough on the Windy City. My God.
Kanye.
What's going on over there in the Windy City? They bored over there. You got one person. Yeah, all right, leave it alone. Enough damage is done.
Look.
Who's still representing that haven't folded yet? Chance?
Chan, no, leave Chance out of this, please.
Wow.
His name doesn't deserve to be anywhere near this. Chance is doing great work.
I just said he's good.
Oh, yeah. Let's leave him alone. Let's leave him out of this.
I just didn't like the. I hate it when he tried to stand up for like.
Kanye, look at Kanye. Kanye's
to
for
stand up
sure,
for him.
like, he's on his way too. You know, oh, great, perfect. This segues to what I wanted to talk about. I was watching, I watching? They was talking about I forgot what it was, but they was talking about the Kardashian curse. First, do you guys believe in it?
Somewhat,
I would love to have it though.
sir.
If there is, the exception got to be Ray J.
I wouldn't
Okay.
mind having a curse. I'm just saying that now.
I think Ray J started it. I think Ray J conjured the.
I'm gonna say it now.
I think Ray J
I'm gonna say it
conjured
now. Ray J is the
curse.
GOAT.
He conjured.
No, you know who started it? OJ.
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 All right.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Okay.
We gonna touch on OJ because there's something about one of the. Okay, we gonna touch on that.
Oh boy.
One that looked dead like her.
Yeah,
It
we're
is
gonna
sound-
touch on that because I really want to talk about that too, right? That's
Cut off the
interesting.
hair. A little black face.
Shade her darker, yeah. That's juice, but
That's a little juice right there.
that's a little juice.
That just sounds
Oh
messy.
my
Little
God.
juice.
What you gonna
What if
say?
he called her that in private? Like when he just what if he was just holding her when he was a baby? Little juice.
Little juice.
She don't know what he talking about.
Wow.
What's going on, little juice? Let me see.
Juice.
Why you keep calling me little
But not
juice?
for nothing, like, nah, and Chloe beautiful, though. It just, she's very beautiful. It's just when she stand next to her sisters, it's like, hold up now. Something ain't right.
Yeah, because she doesn't look nothing like her sisters. She looks like O.J. Simpson.
I tell you, cut off her hair, black face, was a little juice.
All right, so this is what I wanted to talk about as far as the Kardashian curse, right? This is nuts to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this. I feel like now think of the people that have been around the Kardashians the most, right? And I think there's a crazy meter. The longer you stay in this family, the more nuts you become, right? So let's go to the people that have been in the family the least compared to the one that's been there the most.
The black people.
The least has been what? Travis Scott, maybe? And he's relatively normal, right? He's sort of nuts, but he's relatively normal. We love Travis.
It's lit.
Now, we're going to touch on the in-between, but let's go to the extreme. The extreme would be Bruce, right? Turning into an entire woman, right? That's the extreme of it all. And he's been there the most,
So you're
right?
saying he actually want to come back.
It's nuts. So we got
Literally.
Travis and Bruce as the extremes, right? So you go from being normal to wanting to be an entire different person just by being around this
He
family.
hasn't got the full procedure neither.
And that's nuts, but he's still,
Literally.
he's not even Bruce. What is he now?
He's
Chatlin or something like
Jacqueline?
that. Whatever it is.
God, I just had the name in my head.
Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner. Shout out to Caitlyn. She got a, she
The
got
baddest
a,
one of them all. Paul.
Boy. Oh, no,
Oh,
shout, no,
my
shout,
fault.
no shout outs to the Kardashians, huh? All right.
I
no shout-
accept you. Don't worry about it. I accept
No shout outs to
He
the
said
Kardashians,
that
I guess.
To him.
Pause.
I don't want none of that.
Now, well, okay, so let's go into between. So underneath Caitlyn, who are we putting right before there? I'm putting Ye there. Ye is close to Caitlyn.
What about
Yeah, I would
the
say
white
yeah.
guy that was with
He's bugged out.
He's bugged, right? Like he's closer to
the
Caitlyn.
dude that was with the middle child? That had
With
the
the
babies
mid-
with it.
Tiger?
Steve or whatever. What's his name? White guy.
Oh, you talking about
Are we talking about
Scott?
black
You
people?
talking about Scott? No, I'm just talking about men. Period.
Scott.
Scott.
Scott looked like he's having the time of his goddamn life.
Scott is having a good
Look,
time.
think
too.
about this. Think about this.
Let's-
Yep. To me, I feel like wasn't it Courtney looks better than all of them. I feel like that. Without like just naturally, without the stuff. Let me finish. I feel like she's more
Wait, which one's Courtney again?
the middle one.
The one
Courtney
that
is the best
has
looking
all-
one.
Exactly.
Courtney is the
I
best.
feel like she's the more level-headed and just more I can relate to, even though she be a little annoying. But I tend to go towards annoying chicks. I'm not a hand of that. Anyway, he's got first of all, he's had babies by her, solidified in the game. Now they're not together. He's using that brand to do whatever he wants, and he's still friends with the family. I feel like he's the survivor. If you want to make it out that curse, look to him.
I think Tristan is he's a bit of a trailblazer on how to get in and out of the Kardashian family.
I was gonna ask that, so he's not messing with her no more. He's out.
I don't think it's over for him.
I think it's a dub. I think he's still doing what he wants to do.
I think he flashed himself with his camera.
I mean, if you're still shown out with a woman and TMZ is still catching you and you're still throwing up the middle finger to the cameraman at this point, you're not trying to start your family.
See,
anymore.
he didn't get
No,
caught.
he's
It's over.
People was talking.
It's over.
People
LeBron warned him. This is, you know what the bad part about this Tristan story is? LeBron warned him. Remember there was a story about LeBron not wanting Chloe and the TV cameras around the Cavaliers, and that was kind of a friction between him and Tristan.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron seems to come out on top of that. LeBron has been winning a lot of these relationship battles lately. Kyrie came back and apologized to him.
LeBron's a goat.
I feel
so
like anybody would, have that mindset to not have all that drama.
Pushing them buttons.
But like,
goat. He's the goat in certain areas that you
I
never
can see.
really
I can
seen.
see he didn't want him around Tristan because he needed Tristan on his team, and Kardashians they always bring the dude down. So
Yep.
I mean, when you're the
Absolutely.
goat, you just make things happen like that.
Listen, I would say
it didn't work, but I'm just saying.
it sure did it.
They
It
got
did
rid.
it. It did it. Because I think the Kardashian curse is strong, but which which curse is stronger, that or Little B's? I think Little B's is effective. It's been effective for years. Little B curse? Yeah.
oh, I thought you were trying to be funny.
I don't know.
Yeah,
who
Is that a
is
sneaker? What-
Really?
what is that?
No.
I mean,
It's hindered a lot of
Oh.
careers. Its latest victim was
What's the curse? If somebody did a feature with him? Or
no.
something?
If he puts a curse on any NBA player, they just don't play like they're supposed to. And it's been effective. He's had it on LeBron. He's had it on Kevin Durant. He's had it on
This is
James
so-
Harden.
Who is this?
Lil B. He's a
Some
rapper. He's a rapper.
Mm.
well, I would still say
Yeah,
the
I
Kardashians
barely
because there's
know.
more of them, and they can
I'll
spread
send them
that
goons
thing a
on
lot
her.
faster than one person could.
And the people have gone crazy with the Kardashian curse. They have.
I'm ready to get cursed. Well, I
Yeah,
sign
I
up.
keep saying, yo,
I need the
main one that
application quick.
Come out on top of that is Ray J.
Yeah, Ray J. I mean,
Did he?
yeah.
Yes.
If you made the curse, of course you're
Yes.
gonna come out on top.
Yes.
Ray J really good. right now. He's doing a lot of
How
stuff.
has Ray J been affected by Kardashian?
His career elevated tremendously.
What? He had his own TV show. His music is still relevant.
And off of that tape, he got all the money.
Right,
He had all the rights to that tape. She didn't.
right. And his imagery as a sex symbol went up as well because that was able to land him Ray J a love with VH1. So I felt like he profited so well. He played that so well, and even threw it in her face when he made that record. I Hit It First.
Bro,
That was
the most
the pettiest record of all time.
That was so petty.
Ray J made the pettiest record of all time.
And inspired it inspired Drake to hit it too. KK, do you love me?
I thought that
But
was
he wasn't
someone
talking
else.
about her though. He was talking about this light skinned girl on Instagram.
Yeah.
That was,
That was
yeah, it
your
was
thing.
confirmed.
What would you think?
So I mean, it was a good rumor at first. Even Ye bought it, talking trash under the train station.
I thought it was. I thought it was.
scared.
It looked dumb.
Keisha
It looked-
Shantae.
Yeah, got scared.
Is that her name?
I forgot.
Keisha Shantae.
It was a light skinned girl. She raps.
Does Keisha Shantae rap? I thought she was like.
No,
oh.
not the one from Toronto.
Oh.
Not her. No,
Okay.
it was somebody
It was
else.
confirmed. How was it confirmed? Did he confirm that?
Yeah, he was seen out with her. That they were a thing.
She bad?
Oh, she was alright.
She was alright. Drake shouldn't be with no alright.
Drake has been with some questionable women in the past. I think.
Questionable.
Like
Like Caitlyn
Remember
Jenner.
How I Raised
Questionable.
You?
I didn't say she was ugly. I said questionable. And when I say questionable, I mean my personal taste. Remember the big booty model in Find Your Love?
Mhm.
That's the name of the song, Find Your Love.
Do I?
Mhm.
Yeah, he was going with her. I don't think she was attractive. You thought she was?
Sometimes. I feel like the more cuter the girl, the more uglier she is on the inside. 9 times out of 10.
I think there's truth to what you're saying. I just think you delivered it wrong.
Yeah, it was a little funny, but it was.
I know what you're saying
I'm
though.
with it.
I know what you're saying.
It's like, maybe it's just me, but every chick that I be like, yo, and I'm talking to, ain't nothing but headaches. Nothing but headaches.
So
That
let me.
sounds personal.
Can I get a chance to?
Yeah,
Can I get a
nah.
chance to break it down? Because I thought that's what you
Break
was
it
about
down.
to do the
Yeah,
second time.
break it down.
But you made it worse. What you really trying to say is this, right? Right? That the more attractive somebody is, the less they have to work on their personality. That's what you're saying? Because it's a little easier for them.
No, the more they have to work on their personality.
I disagree with that.
'Cause I feel like a lot of them are either stuck up or they so used to so much attention.
No,
they don't know how to humble themselves.
No, what I'm saying is the growing up, they didn't have to work on their personality because they were so attractive.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But now they have to.
But they really do have to work. They just didn't.
They just didn't. Right. Everybody has to work on their personality, right? Like, you don't want to be a trash person. There's a lot of them out here.
I agree.
Like, my personality is awesome. Like, if someone like doesn't like me,
You gotta humble people
there's
sometimes.
something wrong with them. There's something wrong with them. Because I don't show no disrespect, you know, unless you bring that disrespect to me. And then, you know, then I got to turn to the monster. I don't want that.
It sounds like you're talking to somebody in particular. Who's listening to this podcast
I
that
feel
needs to
like
hear this?
you feel this on a very deep level, and it's
Yeah,
just
this got
like,
real deep. It got quiet. We all just started looking down. We looking at the corner of our eye like, what's happening right now?
Just saying.
Who did something to you?
Who did something to me? Nah, you know, sometimes you just go through the vibe. You just walk down the street. You like, I wish you would. I really don't, but you know, if we had to take it there, I'll take it there.
Yeah, something happened.
but you wish you would. Like,
Something happened. Somebody walked and bumped you or said something that you ain't like. Somebody at work. Speak your mind. It's your platform.
Anyway,
no name shall be told.
nah, ain't nothing happened to me. It's
Just venting. I feel you.
yeah, I'm just talking the talk right now. You know,
Right now, we over here watching the Duke game, though. Are we still confident?
Zion,
We still confident that Zion's going number one?
number one. Don't y'all rile that man for that.
Okay. I think
know
he's
you
going
think
number
he
one.
shouldn't,
I think he's going number one.
but your big question is who's going number two.
That's not a question in my opinion. I feel like number 1 and 2 is locked at this point. I think Ja's going to. I think it'd be a
He's
mistake.
that much better.
Yes. Yeah. His game translate better to the league. Now.
As
Sure.
a role player.
But they're playing pro pick and roll sets at Murray State, and you're seeing how effective he is. Imagine him coming into the NBA and them just running pick and roll sets for him all day with his speed and athleticism and him being able to have a jump shot. He's gonna come in and be effective right away in the league.
If it was me, I was the GM. I'm
Mhm.
picking John Morant number one.
I see. As a GM, I have to be realistic. You cannot pass on Zion.
Why?
He's
Because-
a generational player.
Yeah, it's like
Why?
you don't, because you never pass on that type of player. You never do. Like, and ever.
Just because you kill in college don't mean you're gonna kill in the pro.
That's right. But then there's that exceptional player, like a LeBron,
He looks like a
right?
grown man.
like a
compared to-
Shaq, like a Kareem, like a Magic. Like, it's just these type of talents, you really can't.
What-
He
pass on.
remind me of like
What-
a young Shaq that can fly.
What position is Zion gonna play in the NBA?
I think the fact that I think his skill set and his body is going to translate well because the league is transforming into a positionless game where you don't really have a 5-4-3-2-1. You just have players that can play.
I put him at a 3.
But I'll play him at every position. I'll try to find rotations where I can have him be the big man and where he can be the guard. Like, I'll play. That's the beautiful thing about Zion is
And
he has potential to play everything.
I'm not saying he's not gonna be nice. I believe he will be. But my thing with John Morant is, for me watching him and seeing him play, he's the type of player that's gonna make his teammates better, much more than Zion would.
Okay. And you think that's because of what exactly? His play on the floor?
Because how he plays. Look how he plays. He makes his plays better.
I'm talking about John Morant.
John Morant, yes.
See, the thing about Ja that I feel is a knock on him is I think he gets a little too overly ambitious when it comes down to his decision-making to shoot. I think his performance against Florida State made me question. I saw so much Westbrook in his decision-making at the second half of that game.
I seen a player that really wanted to get back to the zone that he was in the first half, making 5 for 5 from 3. But I don't think he ever got back to that. And I feel like a player like Zion knows how to just play the game. He knows how to just play the game the way it's presented to him and not try to outstep or overstep his skill set. He's not going to go out there and just start shooting jump shots hoping that he just starts getting a rhythm. He's going to go down low, get the dirty rebound, get the tip in. He's going to do the things necessary to win. Honestly, there's a lot of talent out there, but his will to win is what you rarely see in players. And I don't think we see that in anybody. I don't think we see that even in Morant, honestly. I don't think we see the will to win, right? Like, I see that in Zion. And there's many instances that I can show in his highlights where you see that, where he's willing to do every and anything, right? Every single game. There's times where Ja's not there. His intensity's not there.
And that's one thing. I watch college basketball, but I don't really know the players like that. I barely watch it. I just like watching, like, just, no-name people that I don't know just playing. I'd be like, oh, and I can make my own opinion, not off of everybody else's. But the one thing I do like about Zion, he's exciting to watch. And he has passion for the game. And it's like he can back it up. It's like, what more can you ask for? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we watch it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that is passionate, that can make plays. I'm trying to see what he's going to do in the NBA. But it's like, a play like that, like you said, you can't pass up on that. You can't.
I'm sorry, man. I wouldn't do that.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this question. You're a general manager of the NBA. You're not just bringing in a player that fits your team, right?
Not to cut you off. It will also depend on the type of team I have, the players I have on my team.
What about the market? What about ticket sales? All those things matter when you're a team like the Knicks that is needing a heartbeat really bad. Like, we need a heartbeat, right? Like, we need something that's going to constantly keep us alive in the NBA.
I think John Morant could do that.
All right, then they said,
I think he could.
Then they said any GM that doesn't get Zion will get fired.
Shout out to Dede. He's
once in a lifetime talent.
He's handling business right now.
What did he say? Once in a lifetime talent like that, make it makes or breaks a GM's career.
See,
no, it does.
Dede is my nephew and I love him. But we gotta.
That's like passing up on LeBron.
We gotta realize.
You deserve to get fired.
He also said, what was that net that he called a great?
Brook Lopez.
Really?
I mean, he is a legend in Brooklyn Arena.
He's not a legend.
Never.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he's not.
A legend? Oh, you mean like
it's a new team
in Brooklyn?
in Brooklyn.
He's not a legend.
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't say that.
In Brooklyn team, he is. They're gonna like retire his jersey. That's he is.
That's nuts.
First of all, if they retire his jersey, they just doing it to have a retired jersey.
Yeah, they'll take anybody that
Brook
was decent.
Lopez is not a legend on any level.
What you want?
He's not a legend on any level.
I have him on my team.
I think it's unfair for people to look at Zion and say, I just feel like this. I'll say this about Zion. He's gonna draw ticket sales. Over anybody that's under him, he's gonna draw ticket sales. You drafted him, yeah.
But
you drafting him because of that.
If I'm not gonna draft him just because of that. If I think Ja Morant's gonna be the better player to get me where I want to go, I'm gonna take him because at start, as you say with ticket sales, yeah, it may do that. But if Ja Morant does what I think he's capable of, and he does what I think he can do, that's gonna come.
Let me ask you,
especially in New York for the Knicks, because you already know. If they start taking off, you already know what it's going to be.
No, for sure. Let me ask you this. In the 2011 draft, highly underrated draft, they have 4 All-Stars, right? They have Kawhi, Kyrie, Klay, Jimmy, right? Out of those 4, 3 won a championship. Klay, Kyrie, Kawhi. Who you taking first?
And you know what? They all going to be free agents.
And yeah, that's true. And that's crazy. They all going to be free agents. Who you taking number 1?
What you mean at that time, or you mean what I know now?
What's the name?
At that time.
What's the names?
Kawhi, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler.
Kyrie. No
See, it's
question.
hard to say because I didn't, like I said, I haven't really followed college basketball, so it would be hard for me to say who I would take first.
No, I mean that's understandable.
I
I
would have
think
had to see them and then go off of that.
In the words of Dede just said, Duke will make the final round because of Zion, because nobody can guard him.
yeah, Taco Falls just made a layup without jumping. I don't know if that's gonna be easy for Zion to penetrate to the basket. I mean, he did get blocked.
You know how goofy you look making a layup without jumping?
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
Just tiptoeing and just dropping it in.
Just throw it out like, come on.
It's not even a sexy
Oh,
game
effort
to
in
watch.
there.
I would never want to sell it. You're not selling any tickets. For
Like I was
this
telling him, it'd be dope if Zion just like dunked it on him.
I want if Zion. He
And he
needs.
just like crushed on a Bel Grande taco, whatever from Taco Bell. And
It needs to be a rim hanger. Like it needs to be one of those Larry
like
Johnson
a nuts
two-handed ones.
swinger.
Grandmama.
Ooh.
Like
And just stay there as Taco
It's got-
falls.
excuse my language, but it's gotta be a nut slapper.
Yeah. Every day.
And that little sound, the little sound go.
If it sound better. If it sound
you
better.
want it?
Every
Yeah,
time.
that sound.
New sound bite. New
And
sound
then he
bite.
goes to the side. And it's like Taco Bell hard tacos, not the soft, because you have to have the hard. It's gotta be. You gotta see the crumbs and everything. And he's just. I think that'd be dope, memorable,
No, that's a
and
fact.
probably make him number 2 overall, but memorable.
Make who's number 2?
Zion.
Zion's number 1.
He said number
I know,
two.
but I'm
That
saying
was
like,
disrespectful.
because some teams they're probably like, all right, this bro, he's gonna bring some problems to our locker room.
Okay.
I'll be scared.
I would love to see.
And who's gonna check Zion?
Look at Zion.
What coach is gonna check Zion? Huh.
So,
My
Do you
bad,
think-
bro.
so do you think Zion is gonna
Hey, Kevin,
translate
what you gonna do with that?
into a good shooter? Do you think he can develop a jump shot, or do you think he's gonna be like a Ben Simmons?
Maybe he could. I mean, if he works on it.
Okay.
I mean, he had plenty of NBA players that come in the league. Karl Malone. He
I think-
came in. He didn't have a jump shot. Gary Payton.
I think
Jason Kidd.
LeBron's taking him under his wing.
If he signs with Clutch Sports,
He's gonna groom him for his son when his son comes in the league.
I think Zion's on pace already to get a $200 million shoe contract.
Of course. Especially hopefully by Nike if they were
Could you
smart.
imagine?
That's wild.
Thankfully, he doesn't have a father like Ball.
Oh my
Come
God!
out and talk about the big baller brand
Come on,
and have him throw away $100 million contract.
That's wild.
Nah, it's totally different. Totally different. You can't compare Duke to the Lakers right now.
So we getting some feedback from some of the folks in the production right now,
Some of the producers in the back.
saying that the Duke Blue Devils are in the position that the Lakers are
Out
in,
here talking
and they're
crazy.
destined for defeat. Mind you, I want to get some context
But
to that.
honestly, that can't be true because at least they're in the playoffs.
At least they're fighting for the championship.
for college.
Right,
The
exactly.
Lakers didn't even make the playoffs.
Zion made the push.
Was
Lakers
That's a
didn't
good
even
point.
make the playoffs.
LeBron's saving his energy for
With the
next season.
so-called GOAT.
Right.
He is
That's a
GOAT.
good point.
GOAT. GOAT James.
I do want to put his
So-called.
comments into context, though, when I say this. He is a Georgetown Hoyas fan, and they have not made the tournament. So I think a lot of that is coming from that perspective. I think it's a little bit of
Who?
hatred
Who
towards
is?
Duke.
Who is?
The person that made this comment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's a little biased.
Little bias.
No Georgetown bash.
A little biased because
No,
Georgetown
Georgetown
hasn't
bias.
made Patrick Ewing hasn't done his job yet to get him to the tournament.
Mm.
So, it's a little hate there.
He just
but
want a little success so he can make it to the NBA, and they
it's
can't even
fine.
pull through for him.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. I mean,
Crazy.
Coach K get it done again.
It's kind of like what he did on the
Or
Knicks.
Roy Williams, one of the two.
Oh.
One of the two. You know,
It's kind of like what he did for the Knicks.
Patrick.
Just almost.
I don't do that.
No, I'm-
Yeah, I gotta defend Pat on that. That wasn't.
See, at the time, I was a Michael Jordan fan.
I know,
So
I know we ain't trying to disrespect Patrick. You know,
Oh, absolutely not. I'm
I know we're
not
not
doing
doing
that. I'm for sure not.
we're not doing
Pat is
At the
the
time, I was a
man.
Michael
Pat
Jordan
is the
fan.
GOAT.
All right, so I didn't care.
Pat is the GOAT, man.
If during those times, if you was a true,
If he was a true one.
if you was a true like New York fan, like there's no way you could be like an MJ fan.
No, I know people that couldn't stand Michael Jordan.
I was never an MJ fan.
I mean, you can respect his game, but
Yeah.
as far as like
I was I was never an MJ fan.
Yeah, I mean, I my 3 favorite players of all time, and this is never gonna change. Never gonna change. I don't care who comes into the league. It's
Wade.
always gonna be Wade.
I know you was at Wade.
Always gonna be Wade. Always gonna be Mike. It's always gonna be Iverson. Always. It's not gonna change.
top 3,
My top 3 of all time.
your top 3 of all.
Yeah, my top 3 of all
I thought
time.
you said top 3 guards.
Not gonna change.
So you putting Iverson over Kobe?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that.
I would. I feel like
Iverson
Iverson.
is my favorite player of all time.
Iverson
But
is
I would put him on
Iverson
top.
has done more for the game.
But now you're saying a different thing though.
I'm not.
Saying who's influenced the game more?
No, my whole point was who was my favorite of 3 players of all time.
Yeah,
And you said I put
just
him
said-
over Kobe. I'm telling you why I put him over Kobe for me.
But Kobe's influenced the game a lot too. Kobe, you ain't never heard of that? How you think I got my shot? I used to wet it up.
I would, if I was Kobe, I would not credit. I would not want credit for your jump shot.
Yo, I remember you used to go to the park, wet it up.
I remember you used to hit the rim, but you got to put it over the rim.
Nah, I used to wet it up.
He used to always hit the net, but it has to go
one time,
over the rim.
I think I walked, but nobody caught it.
I'm not even sure what you was just doing just now.
Cocked that thing back. You remember that?
I remember you breathing like that, but I remember enough.
You know,
I remember your breath being that
back
heavy,
in the
but-
day, you know, used to, you know.
Yeah, man, I remember all those heavy breathings.
Nah, I
But-
stopped. I retired in Jersey a long time ago. Rolled my ankle really bad. And then I seen 2 of my friends blow their knees out. I was like, yeah, I'm done. My knee's been strong ever since.
So basically, what you're saying is, when you saw somebody else get hurt, you cowered in competitiveness.
Damn right. You think every basketball player, most of every basketball player, they hurt their legs. Eventually.
I've
You
never
can
seen a
attest to that,
basketball
right?
player retire from playing basketball.
Most people
'cause-
get injured because of their legs.
Yeah, but I've never seen somebody retire because someone else got hurt.
That's because they weren't smart. I learn from people's mistakes.
Says he sees somebody got hurt.
He said the same
Just hug
thing.
him up.
If you out there cleaning guns, somebody gets shot.
He folded his jersey,
I'm
put it on his
done.
shoulders, said the same for me.
Hey,
He
look.
walked right off. Said
I
the
was
same
the
for
one-
me.
Was it really somebody else's injury or was it just your play?
No. First they got injured, and then I rolled my ankle a whole bunch of times, right? But this time I thought it was broke. Like at that moment I was like, yo. At that second I couldn't move it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was too swollen. I don't know. And then at that moment right there, I remember it was in Charlotte, North Carolina, outside park where I was killing it. It's like I was up like 22 points.
You was
I had-
up by 22
I was
points?
up by 22 points. Had the matching Jordan shorts.
What was y'all playing?
Shirt. I'm not done. Short shirt with the matching sevens on. Oh my God, killing them.
Who was you playing though?
It was just kids from the basketball team from my school.
How was y'all playing? How was you up by 22
Which
points playing on the
literally
playground?
they like literally it was the state champions and considered the best basketball team in high school of all time.
And y'all
in
was
North
up by
Carolina.
22 points in a playground game.
No, I was up 22 points.
Yo, this is mad confusing. I've never seen this.
Cause I kept hitting mad threes.
Wait, so you was up by 22 or your team was up by 22?
No,
None of that makes
I
sense.
had 22 points.
That's how y'all say 22. I had 22 points. I was up by 22.
No,
I was
I didn't
confused.
say that. I said I had 22 points.
You said I was up by 22.
All right, whatever you
got
heard,
it.
I corrected myself.
Okay.
Damn. I had 22 points. All right,
God, yo.
and I went up. I hit that on him, right? And then I try to drive and spin, and the next thing you know, The ankle just went. Ah, that hurt.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ankle just went pow. And all you hear is pow. All I heard was pow. I'm like, oh, I dropped to the floor.
Hold on.
I dropped to the floor.
All you heard was what?
Pow. I dropped to the floor, right? I dropped to the floor. Two of my homies, they try to came pick me up. I was like, bro, leave me here. Leave me here for a second. Leave me here. You're not supposed to
Leave
touch
me, like,
a hurt person on the floor. You know
Save
what I'm saying?
yourselves, like, kind of thing.
Like,
Oh, that was so
like
funny.
don't touch it. That's I kept saying that. Don't touch it. So I finally get up. They drag me to the bench. I'm sitting there, and I'm just looking at I take off my shoe.
You got dragged to the
They
bench.
drag me, son. They drag.
You
There's
twisted
no.
your ankle. Why they dragging you?
They drag me
Where they dragging you from? Where your
from
feet?
ankle up. Ankle.
So they're pulling the ankle that's twisted.
Well, they ain't really drag me, but you know what I mean.
We need that slow,
I
sad
know what you
music to
mean.
play
So-
out.
I'm trying to figure it out for 10 minutes already. Like,
So here I am in a real nice neighborhood. You know, looking over the pool. Next to the
how'd you get
basketball
from being
court.
dragged to a nice neighbor? All right, go ahead. No,
Nah, that's
no, go ahead.
no, you've been Wild State, Highland Creek. That's what happened.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. My leg is throbbing right now. And I like, okay, if I can move it, I'm good.
So it went from the.
I tried to move it. I couldn't move it. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was just had it in my mind. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh, man. And it hurt. It hurt. I'm talking hurt. It was the hurt where you just don't care who was there. You might just cry. And that moment right there, I realized, look, this is like a year, like a little bit after high school. I'm like, look, I'm not going to the league. I started looking at these dudes on the court. I'm like, what y'all doing?
And this happened
Y'all
at that
playing
moment.
like y'all going to the league.
Wow, so you hung it up shortly after
Yo,
high school.
I retired right there.
Wow,
I retired.
That's crazy.
I hung up the jersey.
yo.
Now I just play with the old man at the Y.
I have a funny feeling, but that's probably how you hurt your ankle.
What?
Playing with the old man at the
I'm
Y.
not,
You
because
tryna
I'm
hype
barely
it.
running.
You trying to hype it.
If the ball about to
So,
go out of bounds,
you trying to say an old man dragged
I'm trying to
him
say
and
that
he twisted his ankle?
somebody
Nah.
was washing him on the court.
let's
That
just say the
shouldn't
ball
have
about
been
to go
washing
out.
him on the court.
you see how the ball about to go
And
out?
he's trying to clean it up right now. Like somebody was really baking him.
Nah.
He's trying to make it seem like,
It's
oh,
somebody-
it was the best in the state. They was crazy.
Come on, bro. We all have haters. we all got haters at some point in our life. Anyway,
you know when somebody really can't play ball, so they gotta hype their competition. So they won 3 state championships. They was going crazy. They had all pros, all American.
I ain't say all that.
He said, old man Willie put it on her.
Man, Willie was going off on him on some Uncle Drew stuff. He thought he could take him. He probably checked in the game like, I got him. Thinking,
Back down with a bus
thinking
over
that he
Billy
could
up.
take Uncle Bruce. Uncle Bruce was working.
Yeah, terrible.
Oh man.
Woo! That man asked for like 3 switches. Yo, you got him?
I'm glad they know my story. Damn. Glad they know my story. Damn.
Oh my
Man, I can
God.
come out of retirement now.
Now he come out of it.
Come out of retirement now. You know what I'm saying? I come back like Joy. Alright?
Oh, that's funny.
Come back like how Kobe got to come back on the Lakers.
That's
Ooh,
nuts.
I want to spin this from basketball. It's still kind of like concerning basketball, but like new Space Jam. Are you scared?
I don't know. I mean, I got to see the direction they're going in.
I'm just don't
They didn't
want
give us
them to mess
anything
it
yet.
up. I
They can't
know.
wait.
Is Jordan gonna be in it?
No.
No.
In LeBron?
It's
gonna be in it?
LeBron.
Yeah, it's LeBron starting.
Oh, it's gonna be ill. What are you
It's
talking
gonna be
about?
trash.
You think it's gonna be trash?
It's gonna be trash.
When you have something like Space
I'm
Jam,
looking
you
forward to
got
this.
a lot to live up to.
I can see the monsters coming back. They're gonna play, try to take over the earth. You're gonna sit out because of load
Michael Jordan
management.
gonna give his powers to LeBron.
You're gonna sit out because of load management, and the earth's gonna get taken over by aliens. You're like load management. I gotta sit out.
You gotta respect the
Bro.
greatness in LeBron. as soon as you say LeBron name, his eyes get all shifty and pouty and stuff. Like, let the man be great. Let him be great. Nobody sat here and said, "Oh, he better than Mike." We just said LeBron gonna be in a movie.
They always say that. They always say
but
that.
that's not what we're saying now. We just say he gonna be in a movie. You said it's gonna suck.
That's why he gets so much flack, because he keeps saying, "Oh, he better than Jordan."
He never said that.
But actually, he did say that
He
himself.
said he was the GOAT.
That's self-explanatory.
He's one of the GOATs.
No, he didn't say I'm one of the GOATs. He
said,
said
"No,
I'm
I'm
the
the
GOAT."
GOAT.
That's what he said.
He just said he's the
I'm
best.
the GOAT. I'm the best.
He's not supposed to feel like that.
No, he is. I agree. I don't think he's supposed to say it. The greats don't ever proclaim to be the best. I think that he has to be more humble about it.
Jay-Z does.
It's different. Rap is more braggadocious.
I haven't heard that word in a
He's
long
changing
time.
the game. He's changing the game.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Expansion of my vocabulary.
It's cool.
LeBron's changing the game.
He is. No, LeBron is definitely
I
changing the
agree.
game. I think, but he's also... see, the problem with LeBron is he's kind of victim of the culture that he created. Right? Like, he created the whole, I got to play with this person in order to really succeed in this conference and win championships route. Right? So now you have Golden State and other teams that's
He
doing
didn't
it.
create that.
Who was doing it before?
Celtics.
No. The Celtics traded for those
They
players.
never did that.
The
They never
Celtics
did that.
traded for those players. They didn't sign there. LeBron went to go play with those players. It's different, and that's what players are trying to do now. They're trying to force their way to situations that could win them championships, right? Are we condemning players for the very attitude that we want them to have? Because before we were saying they're not focused so much on winning, they're focused on their off the court. But now it seems like they're focused so much on winning that they're willing to put themselves in the best situation possible, regardless if it's deemed as non-competitive.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that happens with anything. It doesn't just have to be basketball. It could be anything you do in life, period. Once you get to a certain point or you start acting a certain way in whatever you do and you do good at it, it's like people don't have a problem with it, period. So it doesn't matter. Not to sound so like passive, but that's what it is. It's like when you have like, I'll use who was popular at one point. Everybody kept talking about Curry. Let's say, right? He had his moment. Everybody was talking about him. Now he's overrated.
Nah.
Now
he's
he ain't that good
definitely
of a player because everybody talking about him. It's like it don't matter what you do. It could be a LeBron, it could be a Curry.
I agree.
It don't matter. People gonna feel like you overrated at one point.
Yeah, everybody's gonna have an opinion. I think,
So it don't
but
matter.
we got to give him credit though, because
I agree.
we set out an expectation for LeBron and he's exceeded it. Did he not?
Mhm.
I mean, everything that we sought out for him to do, he's accomplished. Everything and more.
Mhm.
Right? I mean, the only gripe that we give him that I feel we wanted to see him do and he didn't is the slam dunk contest.
And there's no reason why he shouldn't have at least 2 more rings.
But he has 3. And I think when we look at Jordan, we're stuck in that era of Jordan has 6.
I'm not even talking about that. It's the fact that he just went to the finals 9, 10 times. It's like,
Right, that's what I'm saying. But see, that's a negative on him though, because there's championships that he should
I
have
don't think
won.
it's a negative.
It's for sure.
I think
negative.
that's history. Like, for him to go like 10 straight years in a row,
So
win or loss.
think about it. Why don't
In the weak East.
in a weak East, but does Jerry West get
With
the
a strong Toronto,
does
years.
Jerry West get what he
It's
deserved?
weak. Pacers was strong too at one point.
Does Jerry West get what he deserved?
He got the logo.
But does he get the respect he deserves?
I don't think.
He's the logo of the entire league. And he went on the same
Which
type
I
of
don't
run that
know how-
LeBron
I-
did. He
which I
went to
don't know how he
multiple
got
championships
that.
in a row, but he lost
Yeah,
them.
he was like what 1-9. or
Yeah,
something
he
like
was.
that.
He had a terrible
Yeah.
record.
I don't know how he got that. The logo.
He was Jerry West at the time. Jerry West was the Michael Jordan of that era. But of that era, right? Like, he doesn't get the respect he deserves now. So I think what I'm saying is, like, if LeBron... Okay, so let me pose this question. I think this is a better topic. Who would have had the better career if everything had gone right in the championship? Right? What if players that lost the championship didn't lose those championships? Right? So, for instance, Kobe, if he didn't lose a championship, he'd have 7 right now. Yeah, because he lost once to Detroit and once to Boston.
See, that's the thing. I
So
think
would that make him better
one
than
that
Jordan?
He lost counts a little bit more. Because it's like, he lost twice, right?
I don't think. To me, it's not even so much the fact that you lost. I think it's sometimes the way you lose.
Okay.
And one example I would say with LeBron is the 2011 Finals. You lost because you didn't play up to the level that you were supposed to play up to. Because if he does, there's no way Dallas wins that championship.
I agree.
It was 3 All-Stars on that Heat team playing against Dallas that had 1 All-Star, and you lost. You lost.
Wasn't Jason Kidd the head coach of that?
No, he was playing that.
He was playing it. Oh yeah, I'm tripping. I remember seeing his face. That's why.
Yeah, he was a player on there.
That's crazy. Jason Kidd was on at the right time, right?
They had a good team.
That's his one championship, right?
I mean, they
That's
had a
crazy.
good
Caught
team,
one
but I
right before
mean,
he went out.
they definitely had a good team, but
They had a really good team.
they shouldn't have been able to beat the Heat.
I mean,
if LeBron plays the way he's capable of playing, they don't win.
Nobody beat him. If he
They
stayed
don't
on
win.
that level.
Jason Terry averaged more points than him throughout that whole series. That is never supposed to happen.
He gambled on him too.
That's not supposed to happen.
I agree. LeBron was definitely supposed to win that championship.
Maybe he was injured
If you take Jordan, Kobe,
and replace him.
even you Bird,
Dwayne Wade.
and I even say Magic Johnson and put him on that team with the Heat, they're not gonna lose. They're not gonna lose because they're not gonna allow that.
Yeah, but would you say at that
Dwayne
time,
Wade
Dwayne?
too.
But I'm saying, but Dwayne Wade wasn't on the team. But I'm saying, like, I think at that time, Dwayne Wade still had gas in his tank to show up.
I think Dwayne Wade already answered that question when he said the mental approach to that series and that entire year was different than the year after. He didn't approach it as this is my team. They both didn't play as the alpha dog. They was playing as I'm gonna defer to you, and they was
That's what I'm
deferring
saying.
too much.
That's still his fault. Like I said, if you take Jordan, Kobe, or whatever, what you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna sit there and allow that to happen? No, they're gonna take over.
Right.
You supposed to destroy anybody that's holding you.
I got to think about this for a second, right? Because I always want to think objectively, right? When you say Kobe, you name Jordan. Okay, when Kobe was on the Lakers after Shaq, there was no doubt in anybody's mind who the first option on that team was, right? When Kobe was with Shaq, we knew that Shaq was the first option, not Kobe, right? When Jordan had Pippen, we had no doubt in our mind who was the first option. Now, I say that to say this. I think it's a little easier to have a certain continuity on your team when you know what your role is, right? And I feel like when LeBron played with Wade, I don't think they figured out that yet. I don't even think they figured it out until that summer. And I think they said that as well when they went on vacation. They kind of came to that understanding out loud, like, this is what we're going to have to do. Wade said, I'm going to have to take a step back. You're going to have to play how you played in Cleveland, and I'll play this role. Because we're not going to win unless we do. We can't both be here. You have to be here, and I have to be here. And when they made that switch, it clicked for them. And that's when they went on their championship run.
That's because LeBron don't have that killer instinct.
He doesn't. But I don't think that should be a detriment on him because he doesn't. I feel like we've championed many people for not having that Jordan intensity. I mean, before Mike, I mean, we judged intensity and the will a different way. Like, because of Mike, we feel like it has to look like that. And because of the Mamba mentality, it has to be this way, right? It doesn't have to be. Because look at Westbrook. He has it. He's struggling to win. But he has that killer instinct. LeBron has a killer instinct. It just looks much milder than those guys.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Magic. Magic had a killer instinct. It didn't look like Kobe's. It didn't look like Jordan's, but he had the killer instinct.
And he also had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. LeBron had Chris Bosh, and he had Wade.
No, LeBron didn't have anybody. He had to go to those players.
I'm talking about that first year.
Oh, I know.
With the Heat.
I know. All I'm saying is this. They didn't figure it out. They didn't figure it out. They didn't figure out how to play with each other, and LeBron's never had anybody long enough to figure it out like Magic had Kareem coming straight in. Like, I don't feel like LeBron's ever had that pillow. You know, and I feel like because he crashed, it's like we come so hard on him. But I don't think it's fair.
I think it was just he didn't show up. He didn't
That's
show
fair.
up.
I think most people feel like that. I think we're being hard on him. What you wanted to talk about as far as
I want to talk about movies. I know that's really vague.
You know, they're coming out with a new Shaft. I seen the previews of. Well, it's probably new previews. I watched it when I watched the movie Us, but y'all didn't watch it.
What movie? Shaft?
But then, like, I was like, really, Shaft? And then it's like, he has a son now, and I'm really not feeling the preview. I'm gonna watch it just to watch it, but definitely don't feel like going to go spend my money on that.
it looks like a reboot of Big Mama's House 2.
That was really random.
Yeah, I mean, for real. I'm waiting for Martin Lawrence to pop out. He's in that movie, I think. I don't. No, he's in that other movie. What's that guy?
But we've seen this before. A famous character now all of a sudden has a son, and he's gonna take over the reins. I mean, we've seen it with Indiana Jones.
It's usually how
We see it too often.
It's usually how it goes. So.
Yeah, it's like an exit entrance type of thing. Like, I'm leaving, you coming in, and then I seen a still picture. They had the original Shaft in there too. So what is he, like the grandfather? I'm confused. How does he fall into this?
And what movie is this?
Shaft.
They really
Samuel
they
Jackson.
doing Shaft.
Yeah. They doing Shaft again, but he has a son now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's nuts. And he's nothing like the father, of course. He's the total opposite. But somehow he's gonna be the hero in the end. He's gonna get a girl. I don't know who the girl is, but it's always like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get a girl somehow. It's Big Mama's House 2 all over again. I don't know. I'm good on it. I'll pass.
I mean,
I'd rather watch Medea.
Really? That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? No, I'm thinking of Diddy because Diddy can't stand Tyler
Talking
Perry.
about Martin's back.
So,
Like what? The show?
no, Bad Boys?
Bad Boys 3.
Bad Boys 3.
He's on that new movie with Matthew McConaughey. I seen the previews on that. See that crazy guy showed you? He was like dancing or whatever. I want to see that movie. That movie looked like it's gonna be great. The previews on that is crazy. Something about a guy who's like a artist but just live life how he wants to live it. And then something happens where he has to do something. I don't know, but Matthew McConaughey is like one of my favorite actors. He's like one of those people. I've never seen him in a bad project. Period. I put him the same caliber as Will Smith, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I gotta see the name of it. I gotta find the name of it, but
I want to see that movie Shazam. I low key talk trash about it at first.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I've been hearing great things about it.
But I
Yeah,
want
they
to.
come
Shazam,
before with
really?
Shaq.
Yeah, I've been hearing really great things.
I'm real skeptical
They-
about
People
it.
been
was
saying
bad.
that. People, huh?
No,
Didn't
no,
they make
that-
one with Shaq back in the
No.
day?
No, that's Kazam.
Okay.
Kazam.
Sorry.
He said,
He said that one was shy.
Some
That was Kazam.
that's a whole
It's
different
a
thing.
whole different
Kazam.
thing.
Yeah, I'm real skeptical about
They
it.
said, I've been hearing reports that it's the best
I'm hearing this.
Disney movie.
Really?
I mean, it's not Disney. DC. That's what I meant.
DC? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing it's the best of the DC movies,
I
or
heard
one
it's
of the
good.
better ones.
I mean, from what I seen from the previews, because I used to collect comics or whatever, but it doesn't seem like that's not the character I remember Shazam being.
Yeah.
Like how like goofy and stuff how he's acting. I don't remember Shazam being like that. That's why I'm skeptical about it.
He is like that. He is because he still has the mind of a child. And if you watch the newer versions of Shazam, like the new 52 version of him,
Oh, see, I'm not up on
Oh, okay.
the new versions.
Yeah.
I'm talking about back in the days, way before you was conceived.
Oh, nah, I probably don't know much about that
That's
personality.
way back in the days.
I don't know anything. See, I gotta look more into the older Shazam because like the newer ones in the movies, yeah, he's like a kid.
That's probably what they
You know what
base
I
it.
wanna
That's
see?
probably
That's
what
what
they
they
base the
basing it on.
movie
I
off
want to
of.
start
That's
seeing
probably what.
these rappers and artists that's documenting themselves, like little biopics and stuff. I want to see some of people who's been in the game like over 15 years, 20 plus years.
To do what?
Like I just want to see like raw footage of them and their stories and
Oh, like how they made
like
their
the
projects.
truths about different questions we might have,
I was just
especially Jay-Z.
I was just actually having a
With-
conversation about that, about documenting everything that you're doing in a come up, and just put it out as a documentary.
That's what
Especially, like,
her did.
The process between
Yeah,
Jay-Z
me too.
and like Dame Dash and that whole breakup, it's like you hear different sides and you thought one way was the one way and then you start hearing another side and it's like, oh man. But the only person that's not speaking is the person you need to hear from, you know?
Oh, it's true.
Did you hear anything about Suicide Squad getting a reboot?
Suicide Squad. That's the one with Will Smith in it.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's not doing it no more.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's gonna be Idris.
Idris Elba.
Idris.
Doing Will Smith's part.
Yeah, he not doing the
I
second
felt like he
one.
probably should have been the choice in the first place. I never really liked Will on.
It was a funny.
Idris Elba.
It was a funny placement to have him there, but
I never was sold on it. It looked like Will Smith playing Will Smith. It didn't feel like he was
yeah,
playing
I
Deadshot.
agree.
I
I
mean,
mean, I feel like everybody else did their role very well. Like, I feel like a lot of people get on the person who, I don't know his real name, who did the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Oh,
I think he
I don't know
did a
his
great,
name
I
either.
mean, I think he did a great job.
I'm
I think
excited
a
for
lot
it.
of people judged him because they judge on, like, you know, the Joker that we all grew up with.
I think he did a great Joker.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
People just think, I don't know,
I think so too.
they was really harsh on him.
I mean, you know, the platinum grill and everything was a bit much to take in at first. And the whole tattoos on the face, he looked like a
Oh.
trap rapper. I mean, it was different. It's not something that we normally see,
yeah.
right?
But,
but-
I think he did great.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was enough to get him another shot.
Yeah. for
But
sure.
I'm excited for what's his name? Oh my God, what is Joaquin Phoenix? He's coming out with a Joker depiction. I don't know when it's coming out next year. I think. It's coming out.
Dede had his opinion and said the Joker was whack.
I think
Agree to disagree.
I think I think he did a great Joker.
I think he did good.
Did y'all watch that movie Green Book we was talking about last week?
I should
I'm
have,
not watching that movie.
but I didn't.
Just watch it. I need to know your opinion off of it, not off of someone else saying something.
It's not even so much about what they're saying. It's so much about what the movie is plotted about. Like, I'm not a fan of a black person teaching a white person that we good and our culture's fun and like.
No, a black
Seen that.
person it wasn't like that.
So what was it about? Take your time,
It
guys.
was showing back in the day times how black people was treated, and basically was showing that every like it showed like a kind of racist Italian who grown to love the guy he was with, and they end up creating a bond, and he end up realizing, I'm really tripping off of having these ways of thoughts. He's a good guy. Maybe I should stand back and take a second chance and give, this race of people a chance.
That's what
And I
just
think
said.
that's the message that was being put out.
I mean, I hear you. I'm just not a
But
fan of. I don't
it
watch
wasn't
that.
the
I'm
black
good.
man trying to prove himself to the white man.
I understand what you're saying. Just by him witnessing how we live, he's witnessing for himself that we're not
he
as
wasn't
bad.
witnessing how he lived. He was witnessing how that one person carried himself, and it wasn't the typical "why you act like that" or "I'ma do me." He was actually like probably the most professional person he's ever met. Like the black guy was like the most professional person he's ever met. So it was like him kind of schooling him on like how to, I guess, like why he carries himself like that and why he doesn't. It was just a lot of messages in that thing where I feel like I think it was a great movie.
But you don't. Okay, so let me ask you this, right? You don't find that a bit offensive, though?
No.
Okay, so let me pose it in this way. If somebody, that's like for me, right? The undertone theme for me, this is what I think about. It sounds like somebody's telling a girl, oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. Like, and what I said, you say what so fast? Like, let me break it down. For you to come to me and say, why is he shocked anyway that I'm that cultured, right? Or that I'm that well spoken.
And also,
why is he shocked in the first place? Because he perceives us not to be that.
Also,
way.
this was based on a true story. This wasn't like just made up.
I'm sure it is. Just like a bunch of the slave movies that they made that I'm sick of seeing. But my thing is, why does he even have that perception in the first place? Because he perceives us not to be that way. That's the only reason why you would be shocked, right? That's like if you came here and you just started balling out, and I'm like, oh, he can really play. Because I probably perceived you that you probably couldn't.
Well, could y'all at least just take the time, have an open mind, and watch it?
No, I'm good. I pass.
And you said the name of this movie is what?
The Green Book.
Green Book.
The Green Book.
I pass.
Well, on that conclusion, we're gonna take a 2-minute break.
2-minute break.
Apparently, from production.
We take
So
breaks.
we are now.
Hustle. We're back on. Sorry. We had to take a little break.
Now we had to add a special guest to the platform.
What's going on?
It's my best friend and founder of Baller Nation. I wanted to bring him in because there's some special things that he's putting together, and you know I'm helping him on, and his sister Mufi and the family. It's kind of a family project, and and I think it's amazing. I think it's going to be amazing for the city and for the nation. Really, at some point we're going to expand. But I want him to just shed some light on it for a second for y'all. So y'all got more information on it.
Well, it's Rook. It's, thank you guys.
Of course.
Bring me on. Just wanna appreciate that.
Always support.
I just want to say appreciate everything. First off, appreciate my brother Wayne. Didn't know my father just recently passed last month.
Oh man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we had a little service this past weekend.
Great man.
Wayne pulled up. It's great. Family was nice seeing him.
So you never met him?
Oh nah, this is one person I knew my whole life. Yeah, him and my mom been together for 40 years.
Okay. Special, man.
Yeah.
Strong.
6 kids, 2 grandbabies. He had a lot of standards up in there.
Yep.
Plan on living up to, so something great. But the main thing I guess that holds dear to my heart to my pops is that he was mainly the one that influenced me to put this together in a business structure, because I already had everything formulated or put together, but it was just really thinking how to put this together in a business sense to where people will see it and respect it, understand where it's coming from. And luckily for my pops, he was there, and we sat down, looked up all the information, and he was my #1 supporter. From there, 5 years strong, we had a tournament back in 2014 right there, Joe Austin Playground, behind Jamaica High School. Edison Park, it was cool. First tournament in a couple of years. Yeah, man, I grew up over there, so it was just great. You know, doing something for the community, something close, something dear to me. So it was just a great moment. And then from that moment, I decided to expand on that and take it to another level. So from there, I've been going throughout Queens, going throughout Brooklyn, the city, looking out community people, anybody that just loves to hoop, just wants to get in shape, just wants to get together. It's really just a goal.
And that's for everybody?
It's for everybody, unlimited. Yeah.
Okay.
So where could they find information if they wanted to look into to joining the league? Is there a place where they can go to find information on it?
Well, yeah, keep it simple. Yeah, you reach out on the gram, see us on Instagram, Ball Nation NYC. See a little tribute right there for my pops. After that, brand new videos come out from last year. Shout out to Brookville.
You said it's on Instagram?
Yeah,
What's it again?
Ball Nation NYC.
Baller Nation NYC.
Yeah, all together. One word. But last year we did a Brookfield, had me come over, interview all the coaches, all the players. It was really dope, bringing them over, seeing everybody, and we plan on building on that strong come next year, well this summer.
And that's what it's all about, doing things in your community, supporting each other, especially for the culture. But even if you're in this community, you're part of the culture, you know, and you don't have to, but it's good to just support each other and uplift the community. That's the only way we're going to get better.
That's the goal.
Facts.
And this man's right here, he's doing it. And so if anybody got any information or want to attend anything, please hit him up. He definitely could use your
Support,
feedback.
man. We're out here.
Yeah.
It's for everybody. It's all about just bringing it together as a community.
Yeah, we did
Next
something
level
similar to
basketball.
this before, man. I mean, when we if for everybody that doesn't know, we played on the same high school team together. We played for Queens Academy, and before we joined the team, there was no team. It was really basically an academic school to get you to graduate, right? So when I got there, I wanted to play basketball. I just didn't have the grades to play. So it took us about 1.5 years until we finally got accepted into the PSAL. And when we did, we kind of just took over. I mean, we lost the championship for the B division.
Yeah.
But it was enough to get us, our play was enough to get us into the A division the following season. And from there, the program has been flourishing, right? So I think that's
5
one of the most...
championships.
Five championships now? See, it's
Girls.
insane, man. The
And
girls is
boys.
killing right now. Shout out to Queens Academies, the girls, man.
Girls team, stand up.
They really took that program and ran with it, honestly. We got to go up there and check them out one time. But I definitely feel that, at least for me, right, that was one of the biggest accomplishments of my life, is helping and assisting, creating a program that later opened opportunities for other kids.
Built the foundation, man.
It was the foundation. I think that showed us that we can really create something for the city, for the culture, for our city, and expand it to something great. So I think this league is an expansion of what we started at Queens Academy.
To be honest, I feel like people have forgotten that basketball is the mecca. Well, for New York, and
Yeah.
that, Queens
For
has
sure.
had some ballers.
For sure.
So, just to bring back that platform and be able to have that stamp, that'd be the ideal situation.
Right.
At least in my mind from here. And that's something I've been working on for about 5 years now. So this is something I'm very excited about. And it's been put out there, and I've had some test runs, but it's about to go on strong, and it's something I'm very excited about.
Right, and it's definitely something that was close, like you mentioned earlier, to your father's heart. He really wanted that to succeed in the hardest way. So we have an extra motivation to push this and curate this into something bigger than what we could imagine, right? So I'm excited about it because I know where this can lead to, and I know that it's a need in the city. Like, we need more leagues, more opportunities for kids to go to college and receive help.
The thing is that there's plenty of leagues out there already. So anybody can go to a league, anybody can do that from there, but what makes it stand out? And at the end of the day, we go in depth into statistics in the interviews. Everything I did in Brookfield last year is really what I was showing is going to happen for the nation moving forward. So it was really just more of like me hyping everybody up, let them know this is what to anticipate when you come join Nation, every type of game. Just the system, the way it's formatted, everything. The whole goal is for everybody to play in as much games as possible to obtain tier points. Obtain these points, just be up there consistently. You're going to be on film. Everything that everybody wants to be, you want to be that social media magnet, and I'm provide that platform.
So if I was a parent and my child is 14, just coming into high school, and I'm looking to put them in a program, what would be your selling point for them to choose your league over anybody else? Like, let's separate us from them.
Well, let's just look at a regular AAU program. They'll have maybe like a 10-man roster, and let's say a kid isn't really that good. Let's just be frank. Let's be real about it. He's not that good. He's probably sitting on the bench, 6, 7, 8 man deep. He's sitting far back. He's best for getting everybody their waters. Just real with it. So how do you fix that? I want to make sure that there's a plethora of teams ready for anybody. You have, I would say, 6 kids. They want to play, or they just missed their team's tryouts. They got cut, or they just didn't get enough playing time. They know they have potential, so this will be their outlet, and their emphasis will be based off their gameplay. So there's certain events that happen prior to the game where each individual baller, because that's what each player is called. Once you're registered as a member, you're considered a baller. That's the terminology. And there's a whole list of that. So it's just really just let everybody know that's a real culture that really I'm trying to put out there to everybody else. So it's something different. Everybody is going to have a chance to be known, and it's really based off of how much work you put in. Once you see, this is where I need to work on my game, my outside perimeter game needs to be worked on, because the numbers are right there. It shows me. I look back on the film, and I'm shooting bricks. I could work on that. I know what to do moving forward, and that's really the goal for me. And you can see that from 14. You can see that if you're a custodian and you got the weekends off and you want to play. I just want something to do on the weekend. This is what you want to do. I'm gonna do my Suge Knight impression. If you want something to do for Nation, come to Ball Nation. All right, forget all that. All right, come to Nation. If you want something to do for fun, want to enjoy yourself, something different, come to Nation. Everything else is just for play.
Word. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I think it's something that the youth is going to need as an option after high school. For players like us who are coming out of high school and we just wanted the opportunity to play in college, it doesn't look like college is the most viable option moving forward.
I wouldn't say it's the most viable option. I would just say that there's new options that are available for you to look at.
Okay.
So when I look at what the NBA is doing for the G League, where I think especially after Zion got hurt, when his sneaker blew up which I think is still amazing when I look at that video. But they really, you saw how immediate they changed their policy, or they want to change it for the 2022-23 season.
Yep.
I think
Players coming in at 18.
18.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot what draft class that is coming up, but their goal now, because I personally feel that the NBA and the NCAA worked in cahoots to make sure that they got at least 1 year of every top-notch player.
Of course.
So that way, there is no more KG, Kobe Bryants anymore that come, LeBrons that come straight into the league. So now with the G League, them offering $100,000 for a year, that gives everybody a chance not to go overseas. I think that's great. But this is grassroots level, so it's open for everybody. We see the potential from there. That excites me.
Yeah, I love the potential. I think that when most people hear about the direction that you're going in, I know
They get hype.
They get excited.
Yeah.
They get extremely excited. So I know that it's something that is going to be a staple in the city, in the basketball culture, in the city, and nationally, ultimately.
I just want there to be another Rucker, but there to be in Queens. I'm a Queens person. I grew up in Queens. Queens is all I'm about. And Queens is the biggest borough, so it's about time that there start being some recognition.
Well, if you need me to come out of retirement,
I like that.
I pull the jersey down from the Raptors.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I come on the court.
Okay.
I was just telling them earlier how you know what I'm saying, I used to do my thing,
No, little sham guy.
but I had got injured,
I see what happened
and I
was.
hear I seen like two other people got injured badly.
That hurt you.
So I hung my
Their injuries
jersey up.
hurt you.
Yeah, they hurt me. That hurt me. I learned from my
Traumatic
mistakes.
one.
I learned from other people's mistakes.
That's that
what I do.
2K injury where you just don't see
So-
what happened. It's collapsing the floor. It's out for 3 months. Like, wait a minute, what happened?
But to support the community, I'll come out. I'll come back in retirement.
The mouse is back.
Lace up the shoes. My
Yeah.
shoes still fresh from back then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And
Well, I'm gonna have you sign some papers that way when you get hurt. Well, if you get hurt again, you don't hold me liable or anything. Sounds pretty serious.
I'm trying to figure something out.
Okay, here we go.
You said your shoes are still fresh from back
they
then?
still fresh because I just bought.
I'm trying to understand if you was a baller like that, how's your sneakers still
I
fresh
just-
from back then?
The day before I
Opening
retired,
day, he got hurt. I
the day
got you.
before I retired, I bought some new shoes.
Okay.
I bought some Jordan 7s. It was forgot the colorway on that, but and I rolled my ankle. There's a little scuff from the roll. After that, I hung them up.
The moral of the story is that you spent more time getting the sneakers than playing in them. All right,
I got you.
and it was opening day injury.
Now my other shoes.
Wait, I
before that,
don't mean to cut y'all off, but it's 7 seconds left in this Duke game, and they down by, and they only up by
8.1.
one.
8.1.
8.1.
Who's up, dude?
Duke is only
Duke is
up by a
up.
point.
UFC isn't gonna score though, so that's not gonna happen. Yeah.
And we going, baby.
What did I just tell you?
We going, baby.
It's not meant to happen.
That was close.
It's not meant to happen. I knew that it wasn't gonna happen like that.
That was close. If
What
that
level
would
is
went
this?
in,
What
they'd have
level
been
is
hurt.
We going to the Sweet 16.
Okay, all right.
All right, that's.
Look,
I
Coach
mean,
K,
that's-
cut your
I'm thinking
time.
it's supposed to be Final Four or nothing.
Well, we see the producers don't know nothing.
Oh, he crying.
It's not over.
It's
Get
gonna
up.
be more than all right.
Get up.
It is over.
I was over for them. I thought it was
It's
Duke. My
over.
fault.
Y'all know the UFC.
Yo, it'd be crazy if Duke actually takes it off.
That was
I mean,
close. He almost got
Their
that
biggest
tip.
threat is who?
North Carolina's the best team in the country.
That just rolled around the
They've been
rim.
playing the best all year.
I know whoever shot that,
Gonzaga's tough too.
I know he's gonna be dreaming about that. He's had it right there. He literally could have dunked that.
If I was him, I would call Patrick Ewing to see how he got over it.
Look at it.
Oh no, it took him a while.
I don't even think he's over it.
Yeah, you don't, I don't think
I don't think he's over it.
I think Ewan had more than enough
He got them doing
Nick
every
moments.
layup drill in practice.
that.
I'm pretty sure
Like,
Ewan had enough Nick
yelling.
moments
What is that?
to
Zion be
forget
yelling
about
top of the
Georgetown.
roof. Busting old people eardrums out. Look at him.
Old people eardrums out.
He be turning Super Saiyan on the
Well,
I love
not
that.
for nothing, for Duke to only pull away for one with Zion back in full form says what about Duke?
That they're one of the worst, if not the worst, three-point shooting team in the nation.
Which Duke is known for the 3 points.
Taco full. You know, sometimes you got to full.
Oh, that's the dude right there?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to full, man. Every now and then.
I still can't picture making a layup without jumping. That's weird to me.
He's
Not
7'6".
necessary for him.
You figure the putback is easy, so it isn't necessary. But I figure with the game on the line, you have to put
It's nuts.
everything
That man's a live
out there.
tree out there.
Damn, this is-
He's a tree out there.
I mean, Antetokounmpo. Is that how you say it? Antetokounmpo.
Giannis.
He barely gotta do anything to do a
That's because
layup, and he not
Antetokounmpo's
as tall
always-
as.
I only learned how to say his name from Wayne's verse.
Wow.
Wings-
Oh yeah, his wingspan.
That's crazy.
He don't got a dunk. He don't ever got a jump.
I'll stick with Giannis.
I seen him dunk on
Yeah.
Ben Simmons and he was on his tippy toes like this.
He's a new age world.
Yeah, he makes no sense.
Only he can shoot now.
You know, 2K when you can make their like wingspan longer.
Yes.
He's at about a 90.
You think so?
Yeah, he's at about a 90. His shoulder width is at about like an 85. He's at about a 90.
So at this point, who's gonna have a better career, Anthony Davis or Giannis?
Giannis.
Oh, Giannis is already up there.
Yeah, Giannis is gonna have. a
To me, he's already passed.
So 80.
I think he's better.
80 has already hit his peak.
Yeah.
I think
I
AD
don't-
has. I think AD has more to grow.
80 plateaued, and he needs somebody else to help him.
That's nuts because he's 25.
Yeah, but look what he's
He's
done.
young.
And
I don't think he's nowhere near past.
No, that was just New Orleans mismanagement.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
AD has
bad
AD nowhere
contracts.
near past the problem. I think he has years to go.
The best signing they did was Julius Randle, and he's not even gonna stay on the team next year.
That's nuts.
It's just saying something.
That's crazy that like the Lakers got rid of him because I felt like he was like the best one.
Who was the only
Damn, maybe
person?
D'Angelo.
Who was the only person that had, I guess, a scuffle or a problem with LeBron prior to the Lakers coming?
Probably Randall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the only person that didn't come back on the Lakers?
Well, D'Angelo
Angelo
too.
and D'Angelo.
Well, D'Angelo did some
Yeah, he did
young
some
boy
good
stuff, and
Corner
that's what got him out of there. So that's just what makes sense with that. But
Serious violation.
yeah, that was prior to
Now he
LeBron.
on the Nets balling.
That's the thing, and I think did the Nets win last night?
They won.
I think they
believe.
won. I think
believe
they
they
won.
won.
So D'Lo got revenge
Lakers.
On the Lakers.
on the Lakers for
Yeah, he
trading
did.
Oh
him.
yeah,
He
yeah.
did.
They beat.
They eliminated him.
Oh,
They beat him.
oh, do you know that definitely feels good?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Remember
Yeah,
that?
that definitely feels good then if you're D'Lo. But my twin brother's a big time Net fan, big time, and I was just telling him
Shout
you
out to
know,
Ramad.
it's gonna be good when Jimmy Butler comes to Brooklyn. He's like, I don't want Jimmy Butler. I'm like, but he said he wants to come to Brooklyn, and in my opinion, Brooklyn is probably one more superstar away.
I knew that was coming in.
Yeah.
I
As
knew that
soon
was
as we
coming in.
said Brooklyn.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't mention your hat.
Listen,
I'm surprised he didn't mention it.
if I didn't say anything,
It's on the side. He can't see it.
He can't see it.
Nah, he go crazy.
if I didn't say anything, my brother would have been, he would have been, you hating,
Nah,
and everything. So
He go.
Because I'm a Knicks fan, but I already know I'm a
the blasphemy, the blasphemy. What is this? Explain this.
I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, all right.
Closing remarks, guys. We're at the finish line for this episode. Episode 2.
I know.
It came fast. I feel like season 1 is moving.
You feel like season 1 is moving too fast?
I mean season 2. Sorry.
I was gonna say that's the past.
Yeah.
Well,
We're
one
stuck in
remark.
season 1.
You're
That was
stuck
the
in
most
season one.
exciting time, man. We was at the DJ convention. We went to Music Box anniversary. Like
We had a lot going
season
on.
1 was lit.
But in this season, we gonna have a lot more stuff.
it's gonna
But
be
I
fun.
think, well, they not ready for it. But we gonna have some
And we
challenges
still gotta
we
give out
gonna
the
do.
footages for the 35th anniversary. We still haven't put that out. All the celebrity interviews that we had, we didn't put it out.
But we made a drop or two, didn't we?
But we have the drop on the radio broadcast.
Broadcast. You got this. You can do
Broadcast.
it.
Let me get
I
it.
got
It's
it.
all right. It's almost over.
Almost there.
It's almost over.
One thing before we go, I want y'all to have an open mind and actually go see the Green Book and leave your comments and see. Let me know what you think about it.
Or see
Two.
us first.
Also check out Baller Nation,
NYC.
Baller Nation
yes,
NYC on Instagram.
man. Yep.
Okay, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on any of our social media platforms. Definitely share it. We trying to, network. Y'all know people, we know people, but it helps if we all work together.
Hey man,
So,
shout out to Slusa, man. Older brother, man, making big moves, big things. Slusa TV.
Oh yeah. Big moves coming. 2019 is gonna be mad lit. It's exciting. It's been exciting for
this
me.
year
So
is all about supporting each other and elevating.
Yep.
If If you ain't trying to do that,
Sit down.
get away from us.
Facts.
Watch my fall.
Y'all can follow me at Junior the Future on Twitter and Instagram. Don't follow me on Facebook. I'm not gonna follow you back. Wow.
At least it was honest.
Yeah, I think more people should be honest about that. I mean, people put out false facades like they'll follow you and they don't. Don't follow me on Facebook. I'm not gonna follow you.
I mean, they can follow you. You don't gotta follow them back.
But I'd rather not. I'd rather not see, like, because, you know, for Instagram, I made that same mistake, right? So you have, like, 52 requests, and the moment that you go from private to unprivate, they all accept automatically.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I made that mistake.
That's wild.
So now I just tell people don't follow me or I'll block them.
That's only gonna make them follow you more.
Yeah,
so
it's been happening.
It's not gonna work.
It
Like
hasn't
that.
been working.
It's not gonna work like that.
Y'all can follow me at The Real Nate Hustle on all platforms. You know, let's connect. DM me. I respond.
You can follow me, Kayla, at names_Kayla.
Oh yeah. Here we go. New York 12. Rip Talk. Ball Nation NYC. Love y'all.
No, we're not throwing out the socials.
No social?
Not giving them nothing?
You hit me on my home telephone number.
Yeah, hit my landline.
Hit my landline one time.
Your Brooklyn is showing.
Last time you came out your landline.
Yo, that's Talk Cafe.
Your Brooklyn is showing. All over the place. Somebody help this man.